What's up, everybody, and welcome back to another episode of the JuiceBox presented by Lock City. It's Wighty here today. Happy Saturday. Hope everyone's having a good weekend still, and hopefully most of you are able to tail today's CS2, which we'll get into in a moment. Today we have episode 149 of the JuiceBox, which is going to be, of course, a review of today's perfect IEM Cologne results, as well as best bets for most of the group stage taking place tomorrow, Sunday, July 27th. As I record this, we still have FaZe, Na'Vi, and Aurora and Nip still live. So there are still a few games that I do not yet have odds for, but we will give a couple leans nonetheless. And before we get into tomorrow's matches, just a reminder that you can join our free tier Discord at discord.gg/lockcity. This gets you access to every cheat sheet every day across all active major sports, access to picks from all 9 of our pro cappers, and tons of other sport-specific and stat-specific data points on a daily basis to help you become a better sports bettor. We drop most of our content on our main Twitter account, which is @_LockCity, but you can also join that free Discord group and get access to everything first. Plus, in Discord, you're getting access to every cheat sheet and every projection sheet, whereas on Twitter, we are mixing and matching and dropping a couple each day, aside from Free Sheet Friday. In the Discord, we're doing daily picks from our capper team. We have daily projections for all active major sports. And of course, we have our Lock City cheat sheets that we are running daily for a ton of different sports and prop markets. On the CS2 side of things, this is going to get you access to all of my premium plays and parlays, every CS2 cheat sheet that we drop, and so much more. You can get better results on your sports betting for free by joining the Discord, subscribing to our JuiceBox podcast on both YouTube and Spotify, and turning on post notifications so you know as soon as we drop our picks and you can get your bets in before the lines move too much. You can also follow our JuiceBox account on both Twitter, which is going to be LC JuiceBoxPod, and our main Twitter account, which again is @_LockCity. For those of you that like the community aspect of things in real time, though, again, I do suggest joining our free Discord at discord.gg/LockCity. Lastly, for all of the odds discussed in today's video, we are going to be using Thunderpick.io, which is one of the top books in the world, for esports betting. You can deposit using crypto, credit card, Apple Pay, Visa Debit, and Thunderpick has lines for all of your favorite esports, including but not limited to CS2, League, Dota, Valorant, Overwatch, COD, Fortnite, Rocket League, and so much more. If you visit tinyurl.com/lcthunder, we made our own short link for this promotion, you can get a 100% deposit match on your first deposit up to $600. Any amount that you deposit up to $600 will get immediately matched by Thunderpick for you to be able to use for your esports picks. We've been super profitable, obviously, on CS2. Today was another $1,000 day for us, but with a deposit bonus, you can always try your luck on some of your other favorites with that free money to play with. That's tinyurl.com/lcthunder for a 100% deposit bonus at Thunderpick up to $600. Alrighty, let's get into it for today. Firstly, before we review the bracket or anything, we will go over results and how we did today. I think that's important, obviously, to track them on both the good days and the bad days. Yesterday was a 3-2 day. We ended up dropping 2 units, but boy, did we ever bounce back today. First and foremost, we had 2 parlays. First of which here was FURIA map 1 plus 3.5 round spread and Falcons map 2 money line. Some of you in the YouTube comments were asking yesterday, how do you know which team is going to get which map? All in all, ultimately you don't. Which isn't a super comforting answer, I understand that. Usually the underdog or the lower seed is going to get the first map. So in this tournament, the teams that had the buys to Group A more or less were the higher seeds, and the teams that had to come from the play-in stage to get to the group stage were the lower seeds. A lot of these top-tier teams often will end up doing their map pick second and vice versa, except for Team Spirit. There's a couple here and there that do like to switch things up and shake things up, try and catch people off guard. So Spirit's one of those teams where you don't know if they're going to take the first or the second map, but most of these teams, you can feel pretty comfortable that the higher seed is going to take the second map, but you can also always wait and bet these closer to when the match is live. If you want to wait like 5-10 minutes before when the teams officially make their map choices, I don't think that's a bad idea either. So the first one here, of course, FURIA map 1 plus 3.5 round spread and Falcons map 2 money line hit. We cashed out on that. That was the 2-legger for 7:30 in the morning. Just prior to 10 o'clock kicking off the MongolZ match and the other match, we posted in Discord obviously I'm free in my channel there, in my Wighty channel. We posted MongolZ -1.5 map spread, so MongolZ to win 2-0. That line was juiced to 2.10 times your money. So I threw 2 units on that. $200 paid $440, $420. So we ended up making some good money there as well. Next up, 2 more parlays. So as you can recall from yesterday, we put the 7:30 games together, we put the 10 o'clock games together, and we put the 12:30 games together. So the second one, and I forgot to change the text on majority of these, so my apologies, or the bottom one on here, so my apologies. So the top one here, Vitality map 2 money line and MongolZ on the money line. So we just needed MongolZ straight up to win, and we needed Vitality on map 2. That ended up hitting as well. And then the bottom one, which was the most recent one that just cashed a map ago, about 20 minutes or so ago, was Na'Vi and FaZe map 1, over 20.5 rounds. So we needed 8 from each team. And then Ninjas in Pajamas map 1 plus 3.5 round spread. They lost the first map 13-11. So we cashed out there as well. Both of those ended up hitting $182 and $209 respectively. Next one up was the big one. So the CS2 6-leg all-day parlay, where all 6 of the legs that we called out yesterday, we ended up putting into a parlay here. So that was FURIA, Falcons, Vitality, MongolZ, NIP, and the over in map 1 of Na'Vi and FaZe. All 6 of those hit, so off of $100, we brought home $600 on this play as well. So overall, the 6 picks, again, that you will remember from yesterday here: FURIA map 1 plus 3.5 round spread, Falcons map 2 on the money line, Vitality map 2 on the money line, MongolZ match money line, map 1 over 20.5 rounds for FaZe and Na'Vi, and then Ninjas in Pajamas map 1 plus 3.5 round spread. All 6 of those legs hit. Wonderful day. All in all, what that did for us was a $1,000 day. So we were up 10 units. Yesterday we dropped 2 units. Day before we were up like 3.5 or something like that. I don't remember exactly. I track it all on Pickit. And for those of you that don't have Pickit, if you sign up with code LOCKCITY, you can get a free $3, and one and every 100 of you will get a free $100. Pickit's a free bet tracker. I've been using it for years. A lot of the other guys in Lock City use it as well. I now have Pickit Pro. You can link a bunch of other sports books in there as well. I do vouch for Pickit Pro as well, but the base version of Pickit is entirely free. You can track a lot of your bets in there, so instead of having to use spreadsheets, it just links everything in the background. It logs in, or rather you log into all of your sports books on there. You give it permission to sync your bets, and it gives you a live day-by-day breakdown, total profit and loss. You can go sport by sport, market by market. It's great. So anyway, today we ended up going up $1,050.98, or 10.5 units for those of you like me that track in units. And if you don't, I do recommend it. 1 unit, for those of you that don't know, should be equivalent to 1% of your total bankroll that you're comfortable spending, or that you have in your bankroll accessible there for you for sports betting. So anyway, up $1,000, excellent day. And without further ado, we'll take a look at what we're looking at here and what we're looking at for tomorrow. I'll give the page a refresh in case there have been any updates. Doesn't look like it. I see Na'Vi is up 7-6 on FaZe right now. And I don't think that the Aurora match has ended either. No, it looks like it's 8-4 at halftime on train for Aurora. Alrighty. So in terms of what happened today, again, results here. So in terms of matchups tomorrow, Vitality and G2 both won, so they're going to end up facing off here in the upper bracket semifinals. Team Falcons and MongolZ both won their matchups respectively, so they will be the other 2 teams that match up here in the upper bracket semifinals. The lower bracket quarterfinals, so the teams that ended up losing and got bumped down. Now, if they lose another match, they are eliminated. So again, this is double elimination. They have to win outright to qualify. So all of these teams, very, very tough road now to qualification. If you get bumped down to the lower bracket at any point, you have to win outright to qualify. So Astralis, FURIA, GamerLegion, and 3D Max are all in that position. Tomorrow, Astralis will play FURIA, and GamerLegion will play 3D Max. This is going to be very tough because even if they win these respective matchups, they still have to face the losers of these matchups. So Vitality and G2, probably G2, is going to end up down here. And then Falcons and MongolZ, that's going to be a banger of a matchup that we'll get into shortly. But the loser of that is going to end up playing the winner of GamerLegion 3D Max. So very tough road for all of these teams here. Down here, obviously, MOUZ and Team Liquid did not yet play. They're on the slate for first thing tomorrow at 7:30, as well as Heroic and Team Spirit. And then the two ongoing games right now are FaZe Clan and Na'Vi, and then Aurora and Nip. So excellent that they staggered the tournament like that because it allows me to record right now. We have majority of our matchups already set. We have 6 games for tomorrow. And then depending on how these games end up playing, I'm assuming these winners, and then these winners will end up playing first thing on Monday, probably because we already have 6 games slated for tomorrow. So without further ado, we will get into it here. No time. Oh, now they have times announced. Perfect. Excellent. Okay, so yeah, whoever ends up winning the Spirit and Heroic game, they're obviously not going to play twice tomorrow. They're going to end up playing on Monday. So these are going to be the 6 games that are set for tomorrow, which is excellent. So these are going to be all of the odds and all of the lines. Some of these at the time of when I made the graphic, just before recording this, I didn't have odds for here, so you might see a couple of TBDs at the end. If odds ended up popping up, that's going to be excellent. So we'll go through here, and the first 2 are going to be at 7:30, of course, again. That's going to be MOUZ and Liquid, as well as Spirit and Heroic. MOUZ and Liquid, going to be really tough. MOUZ seems to be getting a little bit more public consensus here. MOUZ, in terms of odds, are a super heavy favorite. They're minus 400 if you're using American odds, or a 125 times your money if you're using decimal odds. So super heavy favorite. Everyone's expecting MOUZ to win. Most people expecting MOUZ to win 2-0 here. I don't know if that's going to be the case necessarily. Liquid, obviously, in terms of like recent results here, they ended up beating FlyQuest. They didn't look good against FaZe here necessarily, but they were able to steal a map, and we ended up calling them out there a couple of days ago. We had them plus 1.5 there, and they did 2-0 Pain, but Pain has been looking horrible. And then on the MOUZ side of things, obviously only play top teams of the world. The only disadvantage, I guess, quote unquote, here for MOUZ is going to be that they are on a 5-6 week break. So coming into this, obviously they will have boot camped, but in terms of like top tier competition, they've been off since last season, so it's been a little bit. Nonetheless, I do think MOUZ should win this. They should win 2-0. I expect them to win at least their map pick. If we're looking down here at the map pool, there's nothing necessarily that favors Liquid. You could say Ancient potentially, but when you go into MOUZ on Ancient, the 2 teams that they lost to, this was when Legacy was ripping. This was a really bad outing for MOUZ. And then on the FaZe side of things, I would say that's a justifiable loss for a map that you don't really play too often. MOUZ has looked good on Train. I don't know if we see Overpass here necessarily, and I would give MOUZ the edge on every other map, Dust 2, Mirage, Inferno, and Nuke. What I think they end up picking, probably just because Liquid is not great at all on Dust 2, I would see MOUZ picking Dust 2 as their map pick. I think they soar through that. So MOUZ, map 2 money line is going to be my first pick there. It's 1.32 currently on Thunderpick. We'll move on to the next one. Next one up for me is going to be Spirit and Heroic, also 7:30 a.m. Team Spirit's my team here. I think they're in for a tough one tomorrow. Public consensus, super heavy Spirit. I'm going to vote them as well. I do think they win, obviously. In terms of odds, they're absolutely nuked here in terms of them like being a super heavy favorite. I don't know what this is in American odds off the top of my head, probably around like minus 600. But as you can see in decimal odds, it's 1.13 times. So if you're putting $100 on this, you're making $13 back on Spirit as a money line pick here. I think this one's going to be close. I don't know how zweih is going to end up looking on this roster. There's a really good HLTV article for those of you that read. Where did it end up going? For those of you that read HLTV things here, here it is. Stat check how zweih's firepower can transform Spirit. This is a really good article. I won't go over it on the pod here today, but I do recommend checking it out on HLTV. It's titled "Stat Check: How zweih's Firepower Can Transform Spirit." Really good article here. It goes into a ton of depth on kind of where he's going to fit in on the team, what we can kind of expect. their positionings on certain maps, weapon usages on certain maps, what we can expect out of him, and from both perspectives in terms of what weapons he can end up getting from buys and where he kind of fits in there, where he fits in terms of entrying, and then obviously his positionings on CT side where he's going to hold on map. There's a lot of overlap with him and Zontix. I don't know where it is on this article, but anyway, I recommend y'all looking at this. We'll hop into the Spirit game. I thought it was a good read and a well-written article by HLTV. Even though they banned me for promoting the podcast link in comments, so now I have an IP ban from commenting on HLTV, but I still love you guys. Okay, so Spirit, what I'm going to end up going with, I'll just keep this short and to the point. I'm going to go Spirit and Heroic map 1 over 19.5. I don't know if Spirit's going to end up taking the first map here as their pick, or if Heroic will end up getting it. If Heroic takes it, I think we could see Train. I think we could see Ancient. If Spirit ends up taking it, I think we probably see Dust 2, unless they throw us a complete curveball and take like Overpass or something. Either way, I think this map is going to be very, very close. Heroic's been playing well. As you can see here, they didn't drop a single map coming into this. They beat MIBR 2-0. They beat Virtus Pro 2-0 and immediately qualified. On the Spirit side of things, obviously, huge shakeup with losing Magix. They brought zweih over from Namiga, and we don't know exactly. This is going to be our first time seeing them with him in the roster. We can hope for the best. Me as an avid Spirit fan, I can hope for the best. But in terms of being like completely realistic, I think we're in for a couple of very close maps. I do think Spirit wins. I do think like it could be 2-1. It could be two very close maps in a 2-0 for Spirit, but I think both of these are going to be very close. What I'm taking is Spirit and Heroic over 19.5. You may have seen it already on the screen. Over 19.5 total rounds for map 1. Again, we're going to throw a unit on this for the first one and go ahead and place that. And we'll move forward to the 10 o'clock games, which are going to be Falcons, MongolZ, and GamerLegion, and 3D Max. Fun. These ones I don't think we have odds. Oh, yeah, now we do. I was going to say I don't think we have odds yet on Thunderpick, but they just released them for us because they somehow knew we were recording. All right, first one up is going to be Falcons and MongolZ, 10 a.m. Eastern Time. Same sort of ideology as Spirit and Heroic here. I think this is going to be super close. Falcons look great today. When all three of Kaisuke, MongoZ, and Nico are rolling, or even if it's just MongoZ and Kaisuke, they look close to unstoppable. And then on the MongolZ side of things, they looked unreal today. Techno had a couple crazy highlights. 910 had a couple crazy highlights. Senzoom, Zeno, everyone basically on the team, aside from Blitz, had some really crazy highlights today, but all of them played well, ultimately. And they're a top 3 team in the world for a reason. When we're looking at map pool, it does favor MongolZ, but with the Falcons edition of Kaisuke, you kind of have to throw their map pool out the window. Also, they played literally just top teams in the world. Aside from here, they did drop a couple that they shouldn't have dropped near the end of last season there. Nonetheless, same sort of logic. I think with the addition of Kaisuke, both of these maps, potentially all 3 of these maps, are going to be very, very close. I'm going to take map 1 over 19.5. I don't know what the odds are for that yet, so let's check it out. 135. Don't love it, but we're going to take it. Next one up is going to be GamerLegion and 3D Max. This one here, I'm just going to be a straight up 3D Max hater. I'm just going to go GamerLegion on the money line for this one. I'm just going to take the juice 170, whatever it is. I agree with the public here, 75% public consensus on GamerLegion. GamerLegion is only 1 spot higher in the world ranking, 13 compared to 14. I would give every single map in the pool advantage to GamerLegion. I would give recent form advantage to GamerLegion. There's nothing I've liked about 3D Max. They didn't look good against MongolZ today. MongolZ is obviously excellent, but 3D Max did not look good today. They looked okay against Tyloo. They got O2'd by Nip. After getting O2'd by Tyloo here, they beat up on a weak MIBR team mentally currently in between. So give me GamerLegion on the money line for this one. We'll just keep it short and sweet. GamerLegion 172. We'll combine those two, 232. Toss another unit on it. Love it. Alrighty, next 2 and last 2 are going to be G2 Vitality and FURIA Astralis. G2, I like what we saw today. I honestly think they could win a map here, which scares me. God, these jerseys bug me for Vitality. I get it, like a respect to stake or respect to Vitality. I just think it looks so ugly in the middle of the jersey like that. The shoulder patch is sick. Like if you just had that shoulder patch sponsor, that looks cool. But the one in the middle there is just a little bit obnoxious. But hopefully they got paid a bag for it. Hopefully they cashed out, and everyone's getting some good money for having to look like that for the next however long. Anyway, G2 looked really good today. They 2-0'd FURIA. I think they could steal a map off of Vitality. When we look at what Vitality did with Astralis today, it was pretty close, especially to that first map of Nuke. Overpass was close for a little while. Vitality obviously ended up taking it as their map pick too, which was a little bit weird. That threw me for a loop when we had Vitality map 2 as the money line, which I knew was going to be their map pick, or thought was going to be their map pick. And then when they ended up taking Overpass, my heart dropped. I was scared for our parlay, mostly our big one. We could have afforded to lose the little 2-leg one, but I wanted that big one to cash. I thought that'd be sick for the recap today, and look forward to tomorrow. Goes same sort of idea strategy-wise. So I really wanted that to hit. But nonetheless, they came through for us, and they played Astralis pretty closely. So when we're looking at G2 looked really good against FURIA today. I know this first one, 13-11, and then 13-8, but they looked really strong. They looked, for those of you that watched the stream, the announcers today, commentators, I forget the one guy's name, but he's not a regular, not anybody that's on there for the majors. He normally does like CCT and stuff like that. I can't think of his name off the top of my head. But he said that this G2 team reminds him of a 2023 ENTS team. And I do think that's kind of true. At first I laughed at it, but the more I think about it, I think that's a pretty realistic comparison here. And I do think they could potentially steal a map. What I'm going to go with just as a safe play here is going to be Vitality on the money line. They've now locked it here, so I have no idea what and they lock GamerLegion again. But as soon as it unlocks, hopefully it does by the time that we do the next game, I'm going to go Vitality on the money line. It was about 1.20 times your money just prior to recording this, or about minus 500 in American odds. Lastly, we're going to go FURIA and Astralis. Another tough one. We're going to do the same sort of idea as Spirit and Heroic and as Falcons and MongolZ. What we're going to end up doing here, same idea again, is going to be the map 1 over 19.5. I think this is going to be really close. Scrolling down, obviously these two teams met today. No, yesterday, sorry. I was like, what? No, they didn't. They met yesterday at IEM Cologne. FURIA beat Astralis 13-11 and 13-9. That was the only leg at the beginning of the day that we had lost there. I had Astralis, and that was a disappointing result for them. I think this will be close again. I think we'll see a similar sort of result here. If you're looking here in terms of historicals between these two squads, in 2025, every single map that they've played against each other has been 21 rounds or higher. These teams have it out for one another every single time they meet. It is super close regardless of the map. Every single map in the map pool, they're pretty close on. I was very surprised that FURIA didn't take Train today. Maybe we end up seeing that, but I think Astralis is going to end up getting the first map pick here. Regardless, I think we're pretty safe. Even if we do see Train, I think we're safe at an over 19.5 here. So that's what we're going to end up taking for FURIA and Astralis. We're going to go map 1. Again, same idea as those other two earlier. 19.5, 1.32 times. And unfortunately, we cannot combine that right now with Vitality on the money line because those odds are locked, but it was around 1.2, so that would be the third parlay that we'll go with there. So overall, we'll take a quick review, and I guess we'll throw a 5-legger together, or at least have it queued up for the time being. What we're going to go with there is Heroic and Spirit. Map 1 over 19.5. MOUZ map 2 on the money line. We'll just take it on that instead of the 3-way, just to be safe. Falcons and MongolZ map 1 over 19.5. Vitality on the money line is locked. GamerLegion, unfortunately, on the money line is also locked for us right now. So we have these 4 queued up, and then the last 2, of course, that I'm going to add to make this a 6-legger are going to be GamerLegion on the money line and Vitality on the money line. And then I also still need to make a 2-leg parlay for the last two, which are going to be FURIA and Astralis over 19.5, as well as GamerLegion on the money line. But we do have these two queued up, which are going to be firstly our 7:30 games, which was Spirit and Heroic there, and then MOUZ and Liquid, and then our 10:30 or our 10 o'clock games, which are going to be the over 19.5 for Falcons and MongolZ on map 1, and GamerLegion to win on the money line. Let's see if they unlocked it yet. No. Okay, so we'll end it there for today. In terms of overalls on today's picks, I'll throw them up on the screen here now, obviously. So we have Spirit and Heroic map 1 over 19.5. MOUZ map 2 on the money line. I just took it on the 2-way. You can take it on the 3-way if you want. I doubt it goes to overtime. Falcons and MongolZ map 1 over 19.5 total rounds, so we need both sides to win at least 7. Vitality on the money line, which was about 1.20 times your money. FURIA and Astralis map 1 over 19.5 total rounds, so again both sides to win 7. And GamerLegion on the money line, which was 1.8, but then we locked it at 172. It looks like it's sliding down. Obviously more people are going on GamerLegion. It's probably going to be like 1.55 by tomorrow, so grab it now if you can. But feel really, really good about these 6 legs again. Of course, we'll do same thing tomorrow. We'll do a little recap here and look forward to Monday. And then I think this stage, if I remember correctly, ends on Tuesday. I think we still have 2 days of games left after tomorrow. So we'll look forward to, and then the next stage starts on like Friday or something like that. So we got a ton of time in between, but as soon as this stage wraps, I will get predictions out for the next stage so we can lock everything nice and early again and look forward to some cash together. For those of you that aren't in the Discord, of course, at the bottom here, discord.gg/lockcity, completely free. Get access to all of our picks. Make sure you come in and cash out with us if you are a Discord user. If Twitter's more so your thing, you can follow us on Twitter at LCJuiceBoxPod or at _LockCity. And then Thunderpick.io, obviously best esports book around in terms of having quality of lines, both in terms of odds and then just options and the wide breadth of selection that we have here. So definitely suggest it, tinyurl.com/LCThunder. You get a 100% deposit bonus up to $600. They'll give you a free $600 potentially, or up to $600 to play with in there. And goes to show with today's results, there's a lot of money to be made on the CS2 side of things. So look forward to cashing all out again tomorrow. Subscribe if you like what you're hearing. Give us a like on this video if you like it. Make sure in the comments you let us know what you have placed for tomorrow there. If you like these 6 legs, let me know. If you think they're trash, let me know. Whatever you got on the board for tomorrow, let me know. Super excited to hear it. Love CS. Love seeing what everybody has in their minds for these matchups here. Take care. See you tomorrow. Peace.